For a country that has rules and laws for about anything, Germany not having a speed limit may seem a bit strange. Having no speed limit has immense economic benefits. People can go through their jobs quicker and cover greater distances in the same amount of time, and goods can be transported more efficiently. A study estimated that the Germans would miss out on €1 billion worth of salaries every year if the speed limit was 130 km per hour. Also, a lot of people visit Germany solely to experience the autobahn, thus boosting tourism. IMP to the medal on a German autobahn. I'm racing past these other cars, holy for Jesus. One obvious concern is car accidents. High speeds increase the risk of car accidents, as they are one of the main causes of preventable fatalities. Accidents at higher speeds tend to be more fatal, as the kinetic energy increases exponentially with the increase in speed. You'd think that Germany having no speed limit would result in pretty high levels of fatal accidents, but it's actually one of the countries with the lowest number of deaths caused by car accidents. If having no speed limit has obvious economic benefits and doesn't lead to more accidents, why haven't more countries adopted no speed limit highways? Well, there are a couple of reasons, some obvious and others not so much. Let's start with the obvious ones first. Technically speaking, the German autobahn system is very impressive and one of the best highway systems in the world. The lanes of the autobahn are wider than standard highways, providing more space for vehicles and making it easier to drive fast. There are no sharp curves, and the slopes are gradual. The pavement itself is of the highest quality. It is made up of multiple layers, including a frost protection layer, a base course, and a binder course, which highly reduces the risk of cracking and deformation. The surface texture is designed to optimize grip, and a good drainage system makes it very unlikely for a car to lose traction or hydroplane. Germans are also strict when it comes to maintaining the autobahn. Cracks are quickly fixed, and a lot of preventative maintenance happens to avoid them from forming in the first place. While this may seem impressive in isolation or compared to poorer countries, Germany doesn't even rank in the top 10 when it comes to road quality, as countries such as Switzerland, Singapore, or the Netherlands have far better roads in general. So, road quality alone isn't enough to have no speed limit. A not so obvious reason why German highways have no speed limit is the Germans themselves. Germans are notoriously known for respecting rules and people. They are very dependable and have a strong life and work ethic. They just love to follow orders, maybe a bit too much. While at certain times this hasn't led to the best results, in the case of driving, it has done wonders. German highways are among the safest in the world, and this should be attributed to the people who drive on those highways. For starters, getting a driver's license in Germany is harder than in most countries. Both the theoretical and practical exams have very small error margins, as small mistakes could lead to the student failing the tests. You did not change gear fast enough there, that is minus 500 points. By the end of the training, the student is prepared to drive on the autobahn and different road types with no problem. Getting the driver's license costs students thousands of euros, which is an extra reason for drivers not to get it suspended. The autobahn itself has very strict rules that, if broken, can lead to drivers getting hefty fines and losing their licenses. Stopping on the autobahn is illegal, except in emergencies. That's why it's illegal to run out of fuel. The emergency lane is strictly for emergencies only, such as vehicle breakdowns. Misuse of this lane can result in severe penalties. Tailgating is one of the most heavily monitored and penalized offenses on the autobahn. Also, not properly using indicators can lead to fines. While other countries have similar laws, the German people and law enforcement seem to take them more seriously than other countries. This road safety leads us to the German philosophy on driving. Germans are very educated about road safety, getting a strong sense of responsibility from a young age, and seeing driving not as fun, but as a chore that they have to do in a focused and responsible way. An example of this mindset can be seen in the 90s when American customers were asking German carmakers to add cup holders to their cars. 2 small Wendy's drinks barely fit in those cup holders. That is just wrong, pathetic. How am I going to have my coffee? German engineers were so confused by this idea, their minds couldn't comprehend why anyone would drink, eat, or do anything else while driving. When Germans drive, they just drive, nothing more, nothing less. But there are other countries with Germans and good roads. Why don't they have an autobahn? Well, here is one more not so obvious reason why Germany still has no speed limit on its highways. There have been attempts to add a general speed limit to the autobahn for decades now, but with no success. The argument for a speed limit is that it will decrease carbon emissions and lower fuel consumption, which can contribute to Germany's environmental goals. They also argue that a speed limit would improve overall safety on the autobahn by reducing the severity of accidents. There are two factors that have stopped the government from adding a speed limit to the autobahn. The first factor is the general public, who see the autobahn as culturally important and a bit of freedom in a country otherwise filled with oddly specific laws about everything. Germany is the only country where it is illegal to mow the lawn on Sundays, but it's legal to drive as fast as you'd like. But nowadays, most people think that there should be a general speed limit, as the average speed of a car on the autobahn is only 130 km/h anyway, due to traffic. But why hasn't the German government applied the speed limit, as the pressure from climate activist organizations is getting bigger and most German people believe that there should be a speed limit on the autobahn? Now, we come to the second factor that has influenced the German government to not apply a speed limit, and that is the car industry lobby group. The car industry in Germany is very important for the country's economy, as cars make up 20% of all exports. Car manufacturers often have considerable influence on public policy. This is apparent when you take into consideration that the previous transportation minister met the car industry representatives 80 times during his mandate and met only once with environmental associations. So, it's safe to say that the German government heavily aligns its policies with the industry, especially when it comes to limiting caps on vehicle emissions, expanding the highways, and, in our case, keeping the speed limit. They argue that a speed limit could negatively impact sales and the overall economy, particularly if it diminishes the appeal of their cars in both domestic and international markets. These companies have built a reputation for producing high-performance vehicles designed to be driven at high speeds. The absence of speed limits on the autobahn allows them to showcase the capabilities of their cars, which is a key selling point in their marketing. And they actually have a point. German cars are extremely stable at high speeds. It boggles my mind that this is possible, that this car does this with such ease. Going over 200 km/h feels like going 100 in a car made in another country. This could be the reason why it seems that people who drive German cars are always breaking the speed limits. The drivers don't even feel like they are going too fast. This isn't only about performance cars, though. Even normal, comfortable German crossovers are quite competent and settled at high speeds, which has given German cars a reputation for being superior to other cars, especially when it comes to driving dynamics. Another argument I have is that having a speed limit would result in a very small reduction of carbon emissions, and by 2035, every new car would be electric, so increased emissions by driving faster will not be a problem in the future. So, it seems like Germany will keep its glorious autobahn for at least a few more decades, and for the other countries, there is no hope of getting a no-speed limit highway. A new generation of people doesn't seem to have an attention span of more than 10 seconds. Doesn't this make you think that the funny German guy was trying to invade the entire Earth just so every country could have a no-speed limit highway? While it is clear that Germany's autobahn system offers unique benefits, from economic advantages to impressive safety records, it's important to recognize the cultural significance it holds for the German people. The autobahn is more than just a high-speed roadway, it is emblematic of the country's engineering prowess and national identity. For many, it represents a form of personal freedom, a rare exception in a country otherwise known for stringent rules and regulations. In a way, the autobahn stands as a testament to Germany's ability to balance order with individual liberty. Despite the mounting pressures from environmental groups and a shifting public opinion, the autobahn persists in part because it is woven into the fabric of German culture. The unrestricted speed zones symbolize a deeply ingrained sense of precision, discipline, and efficiency, traits that define not just their roads, but the country as a whole.